Welcome to another episode of Day Sports. Back again with my brother Tom. How you doing, man?
Good, brothers. How you going?
Yeah, very good, very good. Absolutely shattered that the long weekend's over. We're about to ride into another short week, so look, we take those where you can.
Certainly not a long weekend if you don't chuck a sickie.
Wow, that's one way to put it. And then I guess we got Magic Round next week, which leads into another public holiday, the last one for the longest time, but very much looking forward to that. But we've got Anzac Round this weekend, so we'll do a little bit of a recap of the bets that we had on, recap of, round 7, and add some predictions for round 8. So we'll time stamp everything along the way. Anything you want to jump to, go get around it. You know what I'd like as much as Reno if he had slotted that field goal with the Waz, Tom?
What, bro?
If everyone hits the...
If you like and subscribe.
Well, essentially, hit the...
Jump on all the platforms, hit that like button, have a share. Let's boost that Instagram, everybody.
Yeah, jump on the Insta, but the YouTube in particular goes a long way. Get it up in the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. For some reason, I was checking the stats on like Spotify and all that. The listens went through the roof in the last few days, actually. And when I say through the roof, about 40 odd listens, but that's no. So we take those. But yeah, quick little bet recap. Bet to Vegas. I'm through to week 3, 4. I need to check. I think it's week 3 now. But I had Coates, and it was originally Far-Longo. Luckily, I got into the stadium a little bit earlier on the Friday because I actually went to that game. 1 free ticket through KO, so shout out to KO for that one. That was a lovely jubbly. You can keep those coming my way. That'd be great. But I saw last second that Bellyache had pulled the pin on him. Bradley went in. I got my money back, quickly jumped on, and they were the first 2 try scorers in about the first 10 minutes. So wham, bam. Thank you very much for coming. Yours, not great.
Yeah, we're not... what was my bet? What was it? Xavier Coates, Melbourne head-to-head, Melbourne 13+. Yes. I thought I was absolutely fucking coasting. Melbourne, the way they've started this year, when they've come out to leads like that, they have not really let off the throttle. So, yeah, I thought I was absolutely home and hose and that Melbourne was about to put an absolute weldy on the Dolphins. But, yeah, we know what happened there.
Yeah, your multi of the week as well went up in flames.
Multi of the week we don't speak about. That was god-awful. Last time I'm going to be trying to tip them around as a multi. So, yeah.
We live and we learn. Mine got pretty close, actually. I only missed out by Brenton Nikora. Just about every other forward on the Sharks scored. I'm pretty sure Oregon, Kafusi, AFB scored. Everyone else scored. Yeah. No Nikora, unfortunately, so that would have been a nice little payday. But I followed one of the Rugby League Gurus bets, and that got up, so we do take those. But first game, Manly versus the Dragons. Dragons, they get it done 20-18. Oh, I'm losing so much faith in Manly at this point.
Fuck. At home, I thought they were an absolute lock, but I don't know. It is Thursday night games are just the woo-woo game this year, I think.
I hate them.
They have been absolute doozies nonstop. So, fuck. Do we play Thursday? I believe
do.
This week. Oh my god!
Yeah, it is honestly like every single Thursday night. It just, no matter what happens. Like a few weeks ago, there was that Sharks Raiders one where Raiders, got that bounce of the ball last minute.
Ridiculous.
I think from there it's been all downhill.
That reminds me of I don't know who it was who scored for the Wars on the weekend. Luke Metcalf basically just chipping one off his shin.
Well, that's Tuapiki, I think.
Was it Tuapiki? Yeah, it was Tuapiki. Sorry. Just fucking kicked it off his shin and just happened to land perfectly in the in goal for an untouched winger. I actually could not believe that. I was blowing my lid.
Yeah, we will get to that game though. We can let loose a little bit. But outside of intercepts, Manly were just doing nothing because I think they got 2 intercepts that got them tries potentially. It was definitely one. But outside of that, there was not much doing. Salone just dominated them, scored 2 tries back-to-back, bam, bam. That was easy for him. I think we're really starting to see Manly just lacking, like, the forward pack. They've got, like, a couple of outs, whatever else. But Dragons, they're young forwards. You had a few of those guys, like Toby Couchman, Dylan Egan, a few of those guys just got after them, just monstered them.
Yeah,
Jack
Couchman had a
DeBellin, like a few of those guys just got into them, and Manly just didn't have any answers for it. And Gutho was just doing Gutho things, so his big effort plays, and he was doing some sneaky little like over the top basketball style throws out to the wingers, and you're just like, yeah, what do you do? Especially Manly at home though, like you just would have thought they would have, especially after getting slacked a few games in a row and being away. I thought they were going to turn up big time, but No, sirree. Next game, this one's huge, and this is, I think, just starting to get a little bit scary for the rest of the comp. Doggies, they beat the Rabbitohs 32-0. What a consistent team the Doggies have become. Like, I think a lot of people would have had high hopes for them. I originally thought they might have actually had a little bit of a fall off and maybe have overachieved last year, but good Lord, Doggies, undefeated, putting points on the board and just a defensive masterclass. Like,
Ghosts have been defensively good. Like, I seen anything today. If Seraldo has a thing, he shouts the coffee card on a Tuesday if the Doggies keep the other team to zip. So I think there's been about 3 times or something this year already. And there's a video just Seraldo just handing over cash, just greenbacks to the fucking coffee dude. But oh my days, yeah, the Doggies are here to not fuck around this year, are they? Yeah, they're because even when the year started off, like Broncos thumped fucking Roosters and then had a loss and then had a couple of wins and whatnot. The Penrith been fucking at sea, besides pumping the Chookies on the weekend. And then Melbourne, they've been putting on worldy performances and then just falling off a cliff as well against some, like, I'm not going to say average teams, but they should be slashing the life out of the Dolphins, really. So for a team like Canterbury to be so consistent so far, it's definitely a bit of a worry being a Broncos supporter, but I'm sure Canterbury supporters are fucking riding that train at the moment.
oh yeah, they'd be very happy with themselves. Poor Seraldo is going to be going bankrupt because I think it's not going to be the last time they keep a team to nil.
Gosh, no.
But yeah, they would, honestly, you'd have to still keep like Storm up there, but it'd be hard to go past the Doggies as being the favourites to win the comp the way they're going. Like and it's early days. It is early days. There's a long way to go, but they're the only team that has actually like just been consistent week in, week out. They're pretty much the only team at the moment that I'm like, I'm happy to back them. Of course, we'll talk about this week because there's one exception to that rule, but yeah, no, they've been doing well. I think I had a look at it. They might have dropped down to like $5 or something like that.
On the dot, 5. Melbourne still favourites to win the grand final at $2.75. Doggies are at $5, followed by Broncos 7. Would you nearly put money on Penrith at $12?
Oh, you know,
or is this it? Dynasty's over.
See, I feel like stranger things have happened. Well, you'd hate to think they could even be a chance the way that they've started their season off, but Doggies at $5 though might be worth a little 10 or 20 on that.
How stupid is this, right? So there's a market, Bulldogs first loss. They've got the Broncos in there at $2.40. Broncos head to head is $2.59.
Bookies.
I was like, this could be a little sneaky little market here that they're going to be paying overs the Broncos to win, but it's not the case. So you're losing money if you jump on that.
This next one was just baffling to me. Storm, they got beaten by the Finns at Suncorp Stadium 42-22. I don't have answers for this one. Like, nobody saw this coming. This is just stupid.
And especially after getting out to, what, a 3-try lead?
It was like 16-2 to start off.
16 zip or something, 16-2. Like, I don't think anyone I would have fucking loved to have seen what the Dolphins were paying live on Sportsbet because, yeah, they would have been paying big dollars. I guarantee that Melbourne market probably would have been suspended. But, yeah, like Isaiah Katoa had a worldie of a game for a young halfback. And, yeah, they were pretty just fucking solid across the park. Like, they lost Max Plath earlier. I thought that was their night done. Who else?
Well, they didn't have Jeremy Marshall King, so that was already
no Marshall King as well.
When he got ruled out before the game, or maybe it was a day or so before the game with that big laceration. I think we might have mentioned it last week. But this is where a hero of mine came into this game, which I just loved. No Jeremy Marshall King meant that Ray Stone managed to find his way into this. Bloke comes off the bench, scores 2 meat pies, smashes a few people, just... It's things you love to see. Like a bloke that wasn't even meant to be playing. He's rolled out and scored 2 against the Storm.
Dude is a fucking nutcase, and just loves putting it on big hits. Like he's one hell of a player. I love to watch Ray Stone. A lot of time for that bloke. I still remember vividly him doing his ACL like a few years ago against the Storm, playing for Para. I think it was
against the Broncos.
Nah, it was against Para. Against Melbourne, sorry. That was pretty sure the game to get into the grand final when he done his ACL, scoring the game-winning try.
Yeah, he's good value, and especially now he's just got neck tats tatted out of the gills. Like I was just chatting shit. It was good actually going to a neutral game because I had Dolphin. I think I was in the Dolphins section, but there was a few Storm people around and just being like, "Oh, if there's one bloke you don't want to run near who's coming on right now, it's gonna be Ray Stone. He will end you."
Literally, Redcliffe's own bikie.
Yeah, literally. But no, I got a huge time for him, but yeah, like that game. So I think Dolphins may have gone in a halftime to ahead. I think it was like 18-16, but you wouldn't really think too much of that. You're like, oh yeah, no stress. Storm are going to come out and do the damn thing.
Bellyache's going to give them a big old spray.
Yeah,
they're going to get revved up.
But I think
they're going to come out and put a show on.
I think then they only scored one more try after that, or it would have been one converted try after that. And Dolphins just went on with the damn thing. Somehow managed to put 42 points on. Like that's just ridiculous. And Storm the last few weeks now.
After they were fucking putting the points on, I was like, 50-point curse. Let's go. Give me the 50-point curse.
They would have been sweating it like they just held out. But you know how we spoke about last week about the Bellyache chair cam? Oh, you would have been wanting to get out of the way in those Suncorp.
Yeah.
In those Suncorp coaches boxes.
Yeah, would have loved to be a fly on the wall though.
Oh, but the entire rugby league community, if they'd put 50 on them, it just would have been the end of it. And I know they were missing a few people, whatever else, but yeah, 50-point curse on the Melbourne Storm would pretty insane. This next one, just hurt. The Warriors over in New Zealand beat the Broncos 2018. I don't even know where to start with this.
Well, what I will say is that it's the first game they've trialled this year where the home team has 14 players on the field instead of 13, actually, because that referee was fucking god awful.
Look,
not going to blame the ref. We played like shit, to be honest. Like, there's so many mistakes in a wet, cold game over in Auckland, but yeah, I don't even know where to unpack this.
No, well, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Again, I'm not really going to get into the refs and whatever else, but the Broncos just made so many mistakes, whether it was drop ball, set restarts, kicking the ball out on the foot. There's just like a multitude of different things that were just going wrong for us. I thought trying to look for, I guess, some positives in that. And I think the Warriors just like, it was their game to lose. They were definitely the better team. They nearly mucked it up, letting it get as close as it did. It should have really never have gone into Golden Point at all. For the Broncos, though, I thought it was, well, for starters, I guess, like literally the first tackle that we had, Reece Walsh actually like takes a good hit up and then Glory Hole just, I think, tries to let out a little bit of anger towards the Brisbane Broncos and just flatlines him. And he's banged up after that. Now it's come out that it was his PCL, so he's out for the next, 4 to 6 weeks, whatever. So one thing I must say about Reece Walsh, that is really impressive to tough that out, stay through that game and get through that with that kind of injury. So props to him for doing that. I thought Jordan Ricky was noticeable coming back into that side, like the kick chase.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we scored a try, or we got some good ball position off mistakes, like him pressuring the wingers or the fullback. So and he didn't kill Tane Tuapiki either. So that's always good. But yeah, like there was just too many mistakes, unable to capitalize on anything, and the ending just broke me. I was just
if you ask Jess about what sort of condition I was in after that, especially Benny Hine, just having to execute the one pass to get it to Reynolds, like they were locked and loaded. There was Renault, and then I think Reece Walsh was back there as an emergency as well if they got rushed. So I'm not saying it would have gone in, but geez, we were in a good position to kick that goal.
Well, yeah, like it literally couldn't have been a better position. Like it was
like 20 out,
perfect.
right in front.
And I reckon Renault slots that 9 out of 10 times. Like no worries at all. And it was just a little bobble, and definitely wasn't Ben Hunt's night. That was probably the worst game he's had this season, and I'm sure he put his hand up first to say that. Obviously got moved there into hooker, but. No, I thought there might have been a world where Ben Hunt actually went into 9 this week against the Doggies and Walter's in there at 6 just to kind of like switch things up a little bit, because I think the narrative at the moment is a little bit that maybe that halves combination isn't working out as well as we might have hoped. But no, he's still in there at 6.
I think it has been a success, like to a degree. Like I think the last probably 2 weeks, I'd say it has been a bit ginger, but Yeah, I could see it turning around because, like, even though the first like game or two that Ben played, it was fucking deadly. Either side of the ruck, either way it was going, it was working out well. So, I think we're only a couple, 3 weeks off Ezra coming back.
Yeah, he's after Magic Round.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, what's that? So it's a game after Magic Round,
Yep.
I believe.
So that'll be round 10.
I should be able to tell. I should be able to have a look at his thing since I jumped the gun and brought him for Super Coach early. I was like, yes, I'll get in early before anyone else because I fucking desperately need a 5'8" because most weeks Trindle's not cutting it. But what were we going to say? Yeah, but I think it's stupid for Madge to give up the experience of Ben Hunt in the halves and swap him out for someone like Billy Walters when, you know, we got fucking 1,000 hookers on the roster. So, yeah, I think you won't see him nudge out of that 6 jersey unless he has another shit game until Ezra comes back.
Yeah, the way that it's going, though, Ezra might just slot straight back into that, and that's going to be an interesting headache. But yeah, then obviously we went into Golden Point. And I just had a feeling straight away when I saw that Reese was taking the kick. In my head, I'm like, don't you kick this too far. Fucking 2 seconds later. And against the wind too. And it makes me wonder, I'm not actually sure, is he a left or a right foot kicker? I don't actually know off the top of my head. I think he might be right.
Don't know.
Either way, but it kind of made me wonder as well, like if he did have an injury, and this is more so if it is that kicking leg, do you reckon he may have potentially given it a bit more of a blast if his leg was compromised a little bit, trying to like actually smack the thing?
Don't know. Like, I don't know whether he's kicked it at the one time of the game when the winds died out or something, because that wind you could see was fucking howling like the whole time. I remember seeing the Warriors, I think they scored or something or other, and went to pass the ball back to someone to kick back to Metcalf to kick it, and the ball literally just went
legit
straight back towards the try line. I was like, holy fuck, it is so windy there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to dwell on it too much. That fucking broke my heart.
Big shout out though to Luke Metcalf, who had a terrible night on the kicking team. Might say they might need another kicker.
Yeah, where'd he go? I think including his penalty kick, 2 from 5,
something like that. But then
2 from 6.
Yeah, probably don't give it back to Chanel either. But the fact that he'd missed all those kicks 50 metres out, just went, yes, son, and slotted it. So pretty ice cold moment from him. Like that's not a bad effort. Like, yeah, anyway, we'll move on from that game. In the Jersey flag though for the Warriors, I sent you that clip. Did you see Jet Cleary, brother of Nathan,
ripping and tearing?
Oh, yeah. He had some like serious clips, but there was that one where he's gone through the line, he's stepped a couple people, taken off, and he's like been dragged to the ground. And I don't know, like, did he flick past it or just throw it out the back? But he somehow offloaded the ball. Someone's come through, got it, bang, try time. Like, that clip just looks insane.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
He's looking over there in the Warriors jersey. Warriors are going to be soon. Nathan, Ivan, you want to come home?
Well, there's that video that I think got Nathan laughing where they yell at, like, there's a Warriors fan yelling. He's like, Nathan, come on, just 1 year, bro. Like, just 1 year.
Just 1 year, bro. You've done enough at Penrith. Just 1 year. Yeah.
There you go. Jet
that must have been over in Vegas. Yeah, that's funny.
Jet in the 6, Nathan in the 7. And it was funny as well having Shawnee Johnson in the crowd doing his bet where he had the
Broncos jersey.
Yeah, the Broncos thing under, but then he's ripped off both and he's got the Wars kit on, absolutely tension, and you're just like, damn, there you go. He's just the ultimate hype man. He's going on side quest at the moment, Shawnee Johnson. He looks like he's living a lot.
Love it.
Like he was over in New Zealand.
Living his best retirement life, that's for sure.
Yeah, like a few weeks ago, he was over in Vegas doing UFC and whatever else. What was it? I was listening to a clip of their podcast and they were talking about how tall he is. I didn't realise how tall Shawn Johnson is. He's as tall as I am. Like, I'm not like ridiculously tall either, but he's
5'8".
Yeah, right. No, well, he's 183 as well. So yeah,
I think there's a lot of players who are the same sort of thing. You like, you look at them and you go, oh, like fucking, you can't be that tall, whatever. But they're just surrounded by giants, and they're actually just like 6 foot.
Yeah, well, that's exactly like, you know, Shawn Johnson standing next to like Adam Fanua-Blake, who's going to be making anyone look small, or Mitchie Barnett and whatever. And then, yeah, obviously they're going to look a little
Jai
bit
Gray,
smaller.
on the other hand, dry grade midget. So
No, that's just an actual jockey.
yeah, that's literally Wayne's actually just gone to Randwick, picked someone out of the dressing rooms, out of the jockey room, and just whacked the number 1 jersey on him.
He's pulled him off his favourite horse, actually, or maybe one of Wayne's horses himself, and just gone, yeah, you can come with me, son. But one other thing. So obviously we had the long weekend, lots of footy. You wouldn't have participated in it, but what was it? It was on Sunday, and it must have been Monday. Waking up and just watching WrestleMania all morning for both of those days was just. That was some good gear, that. Oh, it was great. On Netflix. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Particularly on the first night, they had a triple threat between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. It was...
Bro, you may as well shut up. You're doing nothing for me here.
It was some good stuff, but... Apart from WrestleMania, actually, speaking of which, there's so many people with like signs over there. Like I think you saw a bloke in a bar on that posting, like people in the crowd at WrestleMania with like up the wire signs. It was actually one of the people that Christine knows, one of their friends or whatever that was over there, and heaps of jerseys. So we're infiltrating. Roosters versus Penrith. Penrith finally get a win on Australian soil, pumping the Roosters 40-12. Roosters just never really looked in the contest, and Cleary's just decided to put on an absolute masterclass, and scary.
Yeah, like I think they would be contenders again this year for sure, Penrith, but it's going to take a while with such new combinations and stuff, I think, to gel. I think they're still going to get in the top 8 and they're still going to give it a good crack. But yeah, the Roosters just never looked in that game whatsoever.
No, we spoke about it last week about the 2 games that they've won. They've beaten Penrith and they've beaten the Broncos, but realistically, they've kind of been dog shit for the rest of it, which is so strange. Like even I think last week we were even
most bipolar team.
Yeah, and we finally got there as well. We backed Penrith week in, week out, and they kind of got it done because I know at least in our tipping contest there was a heap of people that finally jumped ship. It might have been almost 50-50 split, but
I'll have a look.
You just got to be a believer sometimes, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to back Penrith to death, pretty much.
Bit of faith in the system, the bit of be patient Penrith fans. That was very much around that.
Don't fix what ain't broke.
Yeah.
But it also seemed like it was starting to become very broke back in Penrith.
But no, well, even Roosters though, like even this week.
No, what's he? There's a couple. It must be about. There's fuck all. There's about 6 people who back the Chooks.
Oh, that's nearly 50%. But anyway.
Non-believers.
Yeah. And the Chooks did have some outs like Angus Crichton and whatever else. But on paper, it's not making sense for the Roosters either. I think the halves is the real problem. I think when Sam Walker...
halves is the biggest issue.
Yeah. When Sam Walker comes back in that team, I think they're really going to catch fire. But you got to... Has Teddy scored a try this year?
Missing, I don't know, but he's still the slipperiest motherfucker getting around. Like, hands down. Like, I'm like, someone just tackle this man. He just seems to bust tackles nonstop. Yeah, halves are probably their biggest issue, and they're also missing a couple of big forwards, I think. I think that's another one that's probably damaging them a little bit at the moment. So, yeah, I think next season's definitely going to be one for them to look at, depending on what sort of sign-ins and whatnot they get.
Yeah, well, they've got plenty of coin to do something with that. Next one, Milk, they beat the Titans. This one had me... I don't have the score on this one for some reason, but anyway...
30-20.
It was 30 or 30-22, whatever it might have been, but Milk, they beat the Titans.
30-20.
Titans
30-20 to Milk, obviously.
Titans had me very worried the way that this game started. So I was driving driving somewhere, get there, it's like 16-0. I'm like, oh, there goes my tip. Dude. But then when the momentum started to swing towards the end of the second half and Milk managed to actually equalise before it, like the writing was on the wall. You're just like, oh, Titans are going to do the regular Titans thing and just play half a footy and just knock off.
That used to be I had some big winning bets on Sportsbet like a couple of years ago because Titans, they were the number 1 team at leading at halftime and fucking losing after it. So the amount of bets that I used to have where I'd have like, that I think it's like half market.
Yeah.
Market. It's like you can have like Titans or Titans Melbourne or Melbourne or draw Melbourne and whatnot. Yeah, the amount of times I'd have Titans and the other team to win afterwards, which would boost the fucking odds through the roof, and it'd hit. Yeah, because they're good for shitting the bet at halftime.
Oh yeah, you can just see this coming so easy. Some of those those Raiders players have been unreal though this season. Like Tamale, he's been great. Seb Chris has just been a handful. Like he's just
Huddy
all
Young.
over it. Yeah, and then Huddy Young is just in form of his life.
Is just top tier at the moment. Probably, I'd love to know his Dally M points at the moment. Actually,
well, not winning, but
through the roof.
But what's it called? Because I forgot.
Do they have the?
Yeah.
I feel like they've got the points up at the moment.
Yeah, leading is Kennedy. So Huddy Young is on 13, but Will Kennedy's leading with 22 currently.
True.
Which is
where do you find that?
Pretty insane. That's just on the NRL Instagram. But yeah, he's been unreal, and I'm pretty sure he's scored, I don't know if it's back-to-back, but that's his third double for this season so far. Like, Huddy Young is...
High grade, 20 points, wow.
Huddy Young, I think, is the second leading try scorer in the whole thing. It's like Jesse Arthurs and then Huddy Young for the milk. Like, what world? But...
Terrell May, 18 points, Payne Haas. Gartho, 15.
He didn't, bro.
Mad Dog, Connor Tracy. 14 points. Huddy Young.
Yeah, he's going to be up there,
I don't know if Huddy Young's only on 13. Wow. Kalen just come out and probably had like worldies the first couple of games and then just died off. Kalen Ponga, Pat Carrigan, Tom Didden. Is there a world where Terrell May wins the Dally M?
I don't think so, nah. Nah, I don't think so. I think like my pick would be somebody, honestly... Oh, you know, an absolute smoky that could get it done? Connor Tracy.
Who?
I reckon if the doggies go well, he could very well be up there. And I think the projection of Payne Haas, I think as well, could very well be there. But I think in this game, either one of these teams could have ran away with it. Milk, I think, definitely could have at some stage, but then just kind of edged them out. But easy enough watch, got that one right. The next one, Knights versus the Sharks. Sharpies, they beat them. Knights actually scored points for the first time in forever, so that's good for them. But Sharks, they were just way too much class.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Sharkies are way too hot across the field for that Newcastle lineup. So, yeah, not much to say about that. That was always going to be a blowout.
Yeah, it was pretty easy again. Every other bloody forward.
Although I believe you tipped Newcastle Sharkies 1-12. I reckon.
Oh, winning's winning. Doesn't matter if it's by an inch or by a mile, Tom. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
She'll be right. And yeah, I'm just really liking how Will Kennedy's playing. Like, obviously, it's showing now. Leading the Dally M's, just solid performance. Like, he's never going to be this, like, crazy, like, I don't know, Kalen Ponga, Reece Walsh, Pappenhausen, like, you know, name a fullback kind of X Factor dude. But just a dude that gets the job done, solid under a high ball, good, you know, return meters and just doing the damn thing. Like, he's just pretty consistent across the board. And I don't know why he cops like hate. I think we've spoken about it before. Like, I just think he's a pretty solid player, similar to Connor Tracy in that way.
He's so solid as a fullback. Like I reckon I say it all the time to different people. I'm like, you watch Will Kennedy. He's fucking. I rarely see him drop a high ball. He's so safe on the high ball, and the dude is just doesn't really ever have like a worldie of a game. Never has really a bad game. So. Just a solid fullback.
Yeah,
really.
legit. And then this next game, this one, I reckon actually was probably my game of the round. Eels versus Tigers. Did you watch it?
Oh, dude. No, what was I doing? I watched I was playing golf. I was like checking the scores back and forth, and then I was on the way home and it's like Tigers scored. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Because I tipped the Tigers, obviously. You tipped Para.
Yes, son.
I think after it was 6-all, well, the Tigers scored first early, and then it was 6-all, and then 6-10 to the Tigers. I was like, no, they're going to kick on. I reckon they're going to keep scoring tries in. They shit the bed.
Yeah, no, this one, 38-22 to the Eels. This, again, was just so much fun to watch. Because I think the Eels, they got ahead maybe by 2 or 3 tries, and I was messaging people being like, easiest tip of the round, but in the back of my head being like, fuck, I hope I haven't gone off a little bit too early here. Sure enough, Tigers go bang, bang. There's send-off galore happening left, right, and centre. I started sweating. They were definitely getting a bit of a move on, particularly when Iongi went off. Josh Adokar went into fullback. Josh Adokar had an unreal game. Like, he scored, a double.
Yeah.
He had an intercept there where they should have scored for all money. Like, he just picked the right thing, intercepted. It was just unreal what he managed to pull off. Though I must say, with Moses coming into that, they looked like a completely different team.
Gosh, didn't it make a world of difference?
Completely different.
Moses come back. It just opens up Dill Brown as well.
Does it what?
So fucking much more. So much more. So I was fucking so happy I kept that boy on my bench for the last fucking 7 weeks, and he's just rocked up, cranked out 98 points or whatever he did, or 97 points, and just saluted for me. So that was so good to watch.
Yeah, in an unreal game, like 40-20 first game back, bang. He was kicking goals he kicked one goal from the sideline just for the shits and gigs of it. And again, like you said, opened up Dylan Brown hugely, opened up Isaiah Iongi. Like, just, yeah, the team looked completely different. I still don't think they're going to be world beaters by any sense, but like literally one game back, if it wasn't Nathan Cleary, I'd almost be saying put him in over Nathan for Origin.
Yeah, especially after the way he played last year. Like, speaking of Origin, that's what I was going to show you just before. Yeah, especially the way he played last year. He was a fucking world beater, dude. He played unreal for the Blues. And, you know, that's going to be the biggest headache for, I was going to say Freddie, Laurie Daly this year.
No, not Freddie this time around.
Not Freddie. Sorry, Freddie. You know, I'd nearly be fucking inclined to pick Moses and Cleary play.
Oh.
Like, you have those two weapons, both of them got gun kicking games, kicking either side of the rock.
Well, like, put Moses at 6.
Yeah, throw Moses in the 6, I reckon.
Yeah, please don't do that. I don't need that head noise.
Because, like, all I know is if I was a New South Wales supporter, I'd rather him be in those fucking halves than Jerome Luai. That's for sure. So,
yeah, but Luai's done pretty well. I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's going to be coming up really quickly because I guess it will be announced after next weekend.
What I was going to say, what I did see though just before on Insta is Brian Fletcher. Oh, it would disappear, wouldn't you? Of course, it disappeared as soon as I opened my Instagram. Yeah, it's like Brian Fletcher's forward pack for Origin. You got Payne. Like, how fucking scary is this being a Queensland? This is like so rare and unheard of. I feel like for Queensland supporters to be like, oh, don't like that, because I'm so used to us just rolling out absolute worldy teams for ever since I was a kid. Payne Haas, see, I'd even be absolutely content with them playing Appy at hooker over Reece Robson.
Yeah, I think at this stage.
Mitch Barnett, Liam Martin, Psycho, Angus Crichton, Psycho, Mitch Barnett, Psycho, Isaiah Yeo, bench, Connor Watson, Huddy Young. Connor Watson, Huddy Young, Terrell May, Spencer Leniu.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty gross.
That's fucking yuck.
Yeah, like
that is an elite forward pack.
Could you imagine? They could literally just start the game off with Payne Haas and Terrell May, like two blokes that could play 80, barely breaking a sweat. Like, that's just cool.
Yeah.
Come off, like, give them a 10, 15-minute rest, and who comes on? Spencer off the back fence. just to let things go. But in saying that, we do have Patrick and Big Tino to handle those fools, so it's all good.
Yeah, we've got the Bushels.
Yeah, exactly.
Mother Aoi.
She'll be all good. I got big faith in Tino.
Who else we get back? This year? We get Tommy Gilbert back.
Psycho.
Ruben Cotter, bit of a dog. Got a bit of fucking North Queensland dog about him.
Could really
he has been pretty quiet this year.
Yeah, but I still think he's going to turn up in that type of team. You can add into those dogs. Tommy did, and just slot him in. He'd play anywhere, that kid. We'd really like a banana farmer, though. That would be great.
I reckon. So they did. I don't know if I was listening to a potty with Flagler. That was like Kevin Walters and Dobbo. Have you listened to that at all?
Yeah.
With Flagler?
Yeah.
They're saying he has had nerve replacement surgery now. So they're pretty much just waiting for it to take. But he reckons he will be back next year.
Yeah, next year, I hope. But yeah, I just want to see him play, even if it's obviously not going to be for the Broncos. Like, just such a talented dude.
Yeah, like that's what they were saying on that podcast. Or he was saying how... if someone went and watched him train, they wouldn't know he's injured. It was something about basically not having the feeling or something in that shoulder, can't build the muscle mass up around his shoulder to protect it. So that's the big issue, essentially. But no, hopefully we see him back next year.
Yeah,
fucking wherever he's playing. Love to see that case back.
Oh, yeah. Like, I still say, like, we just miss a dude like him in Brisbane so bad at the moment. Just someone that, like, you rev him up enough, he will flog her. No worries at all.
Got a bit of fucking mongrel dog, a bit of mongrel cunt about him.
And fuck, I like it. But now we get into our Anzac round, our round 8 tips. Believe it or not, we're already in round 8. Thursday night, I was tempted to go to this game, but it was only single seats available, so I'm going to watch it on the couch instead of going there, considering we're going to be living there after next week. Broncos versus the Doggies. Broncos are at the moment on a mysterious blue betting agency, $2.59. The Dogs $1.50. Straight up, I hate this. I hate this for us massively. Coming off 2 losses that we probably should have won. Like, I was really hoping we are going to go win-win, then have to face the Doggies. Positive side, at least we're back home at Suncorp, but
yeah,
we've got a big
last time
challenge
we played
ahead
the
of us.
Doggies at Suncorp, we got absolutely flogged.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Thursday has a bit of woo-woo about it. So us being outsiders, I like it.
Yeah. And in saying all that, it is going to be biased because I'm a one-eyed Broncos fan, so I'm going to go with our Broncos 1-12. But how much faith have I got? Yeah, look, we're going to see with this.
I got heaps. I've got fucking heaps. Give me the Broncos 1-12.
13 plus.
13 plus. And give me a D Mariner anytime.
The thing is as well, like on paper, and on paper's one thing compared to actually playing. And funny enough as well, we fucked them up in the preseason challenge. And yes, doesn't mean shit, trial games, whatever. But really, those teams aren't drastically different either. But yeah, on paper, we should have a team that can run with the Dogs. Dogs have just been ridiculous. And yeah, like you said, last season, we got fucking thumped by them. They have iron defense. And yeah, a few changes for us. We've got Thrubbo going into fullback, Dino out on the wing. I think we are really going to miss the organisation of Reece at the back in fullback. But at the same time, Cobbo has played there a few times before. I think Dino coming back in with a bit of X factor and speed, I love.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jesse Arthurs anytime, though. Dean Mariner is scoring.
That's
a
fucking lock.
Oh.
That is my biggest omen to anyone out there this week. Dean Mariner will score anytime. Clip that shit up.
You might have to put your money where the mouth is, I think, on that one. One thing that I've noticed that I don't know how I feel about, so our bench is a bit... So we got Pakes, he's interchanged, so Walters is taking the 9 jersey. Jensen, so those two I'm like, okay. But then we've got Brendan Piakura and Jaden Hunt on the bench. So we're running with 2 second rowers. Xavier Willinson, he is starting in 11, so I imagine he'd just go into the forward rotation and one of them is going to come on. But I want to see Ben. I want to see Big Ben Takura.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad shout. I wouldn't mind another big body in that pack then, especially if it will be, because I have noticed like the way Madge sort of rotates. It's like usually Xavier coming on, Paddy going off, then Payne will rotate with Corey, and then it'll be like Paddy back on. So I think most of the time we usually have one of the big boys like Paddy or Payne on the field. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be like Xavier's definitely not. I don't think playing the back row sort of like position. I think it would just be purely a rotation based move.
But it's going to be a tough game. When we win, though, Kyle, just know that you're going to be getting an absolute fucking earful about it too. So
going to be getting licked to death.
All right, next game, we got this one on the Friday. This was huge. We got Roosters versus the Dragons. Roosters at home, $1.73. The Dragons, $2.11. This is just an iconic game. Both of these teams are going to be turning up massively for this. Last time the Dragons played this game, I think they had about 70 points put on them, so they're going to be absolutely tripping after this. I think they're going to be wanting this one back big time, and considering the way that they've played this season, I think they're in a position to be able to get this one back on the Roosters.
I'm liking the Dragons, eh? The Dragons have been showing a bit of fucking ticker about them. So, yeah, I like Dragons 1-12 in this. I reckon they're just going to get done.
Yeah, I think so as well. I got them 1-12. I'm really liking what that young forward pack of theirs is about. Like, they're big, mobile boys that are just overpowering some teams. One thing I don't like, no No Christian still. He's out for a bit longer. But I think as well, you're going to see, like if I'm picking a guy, it's not only to score a meat pie over the weekend, but just to have a huge, massive performance is going to be Gutho. Yes, it's got to be the kick. Like, yeah, Mr. All Heart. Like, if there's a day a bloke is going to turn up, it is going to be on that Anzac Day game. Couple ins though, like Gussie Crichton, he comes back in on paper again. Like, I really don't hate the Roosters for this, but at the same time, they've been kind of shit. Dom Young as well. He's been dropped. Mark Nawanga Itawase goes onto the wing. Dom Young, yeah, he's fallen out of favour. Yeah, I don't hate the Dragons for it. As underdogs too. Yes, son.
Are they under? Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, $2.11.
Are underdogs in this?
Not the worst.
There you go. Building my multi of the week right now.
As long as you don't do
Broncos,
it,
Dragons.
Alrighty. Next one, again, we go back over to New Zealand. We've got the Wars versus the Knights. The Wars, understandably, are $1.32 favourites. The Knights, $3.41. That's getting into almost like high enough where you just throw a couple bucks at it. Again, Knights actually scored a little bit of points over the weekend, so that's good for them. But Warriors over in New Zealand, they got a few troops coming back in. Chance comes back in. They are away from Mount Smart, though. They're playing this one over in Christchurch.
That's truth.
But I still think it's easy money. I think Wars won at 12. I don't think they're going to go too crazy with this, but I think they're going to win like comfortable enough anyway.
I think I'll jump on the same boat. Wars 1 to 12 here. Newcastle could win this because they are the team that could. They're the sort of team that would win this game as well after being very dismal for the last however many weeks. So. But yet again, I think if they shut down Kalen, they shut down the Newcastle pretty much. So, Wales 1 to 12, they'll do enough.
Yeah, and he's coming off the bench unfortunately this week because I really had this like written out in my head. But Leka Halamasia, I love what he's about already. Like runs hard, hits hard, scores meat pies. So I'm going to be backing him to score. Sorry as well if the pronunciation of the name is not spot on. I will work on that. Big one though for the Knights.
Bit of blocker about you.
Look, it's not quite as bad as
Warriors game. Nearly guarantee fucking blocker will be commentating, so he can mumble that one up as well.
No, well, I'm not quite as bad as blocker. I feel like I do all right. I'm not saying Wellesniaks and whatever else. Like I can bust out a marky mark, but Dylan Lucas, he comes back in on the edge for the not for the Warriors, for the Knights, which I think is huge for them. Like he has been great. I think he's going to open up that attack a little bit more. Wouldn't be surprised if he trots over for a little meat pie as well, but we'll see how they go. And I don't know if the Wires have lost in New Zealand yet. So, and that can fucking help old mate. That's in our video every single week. Back the Wires. Blah, 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 blah. So actually backing them for once. Next game, Storm versus the Rabbits. Storm, I'm surprised this is not $1.01. $1.21, Rabbitohs $4.45 after nearly conceding 50 points to the Finns. Surely Bellyache just had them doing hill sprints the entire week. Like, they must have been.
Bellyache pretty much would have been out there with a whip. An actual whip, I reckon. Yeah, like we said, I think previously, who was it? Melbourne played Manly the week after they got done by the Dragons.
Yeah.
And they put on an absolute fucking pizzling. I think we're going to see very much of the same year. Sorry, Wayne, but get ready for a fucking thumping, I believe. Melbourne minus 23 on the line, I reckon. I don't know what the line is, but it's going to be a shitload.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just get it done by a fucking heap, really.
No, and after losing their halves, the Rabbitohs haven't quite been able to find their feet in. I think O'Sullivan comes back in. He's in the 7. Jai Gray's gone to 14, so you got Big Trelly Belly. He's gone into the 1 position. Bit rough for Jai Gray. So there goes, I think, any chance of him winning the Dally M, especially if that's going to go. But I'm not going to chat too much shit because, hey, guess if there's a coach that knows a thing or two, it's going to be Uncle Wayne. I think the Rabbitohs are just in the wrong place at the wrong time here. It's like walking down a dark alleyway and some people roll you. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care who the Storm played this week. They are going to rock up and fuck them up. It just doesn't matter who it is.
Who they're playing. I think you're going to see a very, very big game out of Pappenhausen and Jerome Hughes.
For sure. And then
and even Harry Grant. I feel like Harry Grant was very quiet last week.
Well, maybe that's because he didn't play. He's out for like 6 weeks with a hammy.
Shoot me now.
But
what was I watching?
Fucking clearly not the game.
No.
was blind and I could tell he wasn't out there.
Fucking welders' dogs aren't even that blind. Jesus, yeah.
I had to buy a snitty at the pub just to order beers, mate, and I could bloody see what was happening out there. But in saying that, Storm by however many they want. Xavier Coates for me anytime, if not 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think Xavier will trot over for a couple.
Yeah. All right, now we head up north. Yeah, we got Cowboys versus the Titans.
Please never do that again. Yeah.
Get 'em, boy. No, we got Cowboys. They are $1.41, Titans $2.92. This is what shits me. Somehow these fucking Cowboys are on the same points as the Broncos after starting out with bloody spoons written all over them. They've managed to go win-win, one against Penrith, gone into the bye, and I reckon they're going to do the Titans in. I reckon they're going to win 1-12. Because the Titans, they're missing some troops. They're just not clicking at the moment. And like we touched on earlier, they're not a big fan of the whole 80 minutes of football. So, yeah, I think the Cows...
Not a big fan of a away trip either. Except for Roosters. If they go play the Roosters, they'll fuck them up in Sydney. Which I didn't think was going to happen. But, not a fan of a away trip. I think the Cowboys will probably nearly fumble this, but they'll get the job done.
Yeah, Cows, there'll probably be a few scary moments, but I reckon
they'll go the long way. They'll go the long way around to winning this. That's for sure.
Yeah, but when we're up there north of the wall, up in Townsville, well, if there's going to be a team that's going to do well up there, too far from the GC, the mayor of GC at least is going up there, Tino, because I swear whenever they're without him, there's no chance at all. I'm going to back little Tommy Dearden to score any time. I nearly got on Alofi Khan Pereira, who's actually back in on the wing, so try scoring machine there. So, but yeah, no, Tommy Dearden, he likes little try.
I think I'll be having a little drink water anytime, I reckon.
Alrighty, Riff versus Manly. Penrith, they are $1.48. Manly, $2.65. I'll just flat out say I've lost all hope in Manly. They are banned until further notice at this stage. Riff, they did look the goods last week. A little bit of tinges of their previous seasons. So I think that's just going to do a world of confidence. And Manly, like we've said, have just been so disappointing.
I'd love to know what the line is on this game because I don't think I'm confident in a Penrith 1-12. I don't think I'm confident in a Penrith 13+. So I just want to see what the fucking line is.
But I think at this point, like Manly just
6.5. Yes, I'll be taking Penrith on the line. I think instead of a 1-12 or 13+.
I know you can do that, but I think as well, like pretty lackluster forward pack again for Manly. I think they're going to be able to bust through the middle there with the guys that they've got with Penrith. I think as well if their confidence is up and if they can try to like fix the leaking points that are happening on the edges. And I think as well maybe they've moved Isaac Tungo. Is he back in there? Or is he off on the bench again?
He's back in centres, I believe.
Okay, well,
been put in centres, I think.
We'll see about that. That could be a last-minute swap. But one big thing, at least for Manly, Tommy Brah, he's back in.
Dargo's back in centres. Casey McLean. See, I wonder if this will get changed again, whether Casey McLean, he's been named in the 4 jersey in the centres with Thomas Jenkins on the wing. So be interesting to see what happens then. My try scoring machine, Paul Alamotti, stays on the wing. He's a good boy. The
more I look at this, actually, the more I start overthinking it because you've got Mitch Kenny out, Luke Garner out. I'm still going to stick with Penrith on this one, though. I am also going to go Paul Alamotti anytime because that boy just scores tries. Huge for Manly, though, Tommy Brah. Tommy Brah coming back in, but at like, is he 100%? I swear at this point, like, you could move, Tommy, you're playing. Get him out there. Like, it's just kind of...
You're walking?
Yeah.
Tommy, you're walking. You're playing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. It screams him injuring himself again this game.
Siebes has got fucking nudes of Tom or something. I don't know. Keeps blackmailing him to play.
Making him get back out there. All right, second last one. Finally, they've made it all the way home after doing an Australian tour. You got the Milkman versus the Finns. Canberra, $1.55. Finns, $2.46. Finns, they're coming off obviously a historic win over the Storm. No one would have picked it, but I just cannot see them backing this up again after such a big win. Like, they played their grand final last week. Too big of a game. I reckon that the milk are going to be all over it. Considering as well they're moving back to colder climates, which I'm a big fan of. They've won in the heat, they've won in between, and now I think back at home in Canberra they're going to be too hard
they
to
love
beat.
the cold.
Yes,
They
and it's
love
starting
the
to get
cold
fucking.
down
It's
there
starting to
Canberra.
get cold too. I'm very
Starting
fond
to
of
get
it.
chilly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna 1 to 12 for me.
I think I'm going to jump on 13 plus. To be honest, I think
could do it.
Canberra are just going to turn up and absolutely fuck. You can see Huddy Young running the clinic. You can see Fogarty running the clinic. You can see Xavier Savage, Tapani. Give me them all. They're all going to run. Tapani.
Tamale as well, the bloody winger.
Oh, I thought you were mispronunciation, Chris.
Yeah, calm down, blocker.
I think they're just going to absolutely fuck. So good night to the Dolphins, I reckon. Canberra 13 plus.
Yeah, well, I'll go 1 to 12. I don't think the fortress there at Canberra has been cracked yet this season. That was kind of their goal, and I don't think anyone's done it.
Gosh, it was close by Cronulla. They absolutely fumbled the bag there.
And then, I don't know how you're going to beat a team where you've got Ricky down on the sideline chewing a hole through his jaw. Just
I was going to say, literally chewing his face off with a fucking whole pack of gum in his mouth.
Well, and that's how that was my tell when Penrith played against the Roosters. That's how I knew they were going to win it, because Ivan was down there on the sideline. Shit's getting real, and Ivan was also down out of the coach's box on the sideline getting a piece of it. You're like, okay, that's a team that's going to win. And then when you're taking out both Jeremy Marshall-King, Max Plath, they're both out, so those are big hits. Yeah, Huddy Young, I reckon he's going to score, if not two. He needs to start doing these celebrations because he's just stacking them up.
So has he got 3 doubles in a row, I believe?
It's either 3 doubles in a row or he's got 3 doubles this year.
I'm pretty sure it's in a row. I want to say it was like the first back row or something since like Steve Menzies. Steve Menzies used to score 3 doubles in a row.
There you go.
It was some stat like that, yeah.
So he's in some elite company. All right, and then we go into the last one for the round. We've got Tigers versus the Sharks. Tigers, they are $2.98 and the Sharks $1.40. Super disappointing loss, obviously, for the Tigers over the weekend. Again, if I could tip against the Sharks, I would, but I'm seeing a Tigers club that is in turmoil. Things are just not going their way at all. I think the Sharks should be able to cruise home this one, but at the same time, this does have it written all over the walls for the Sharks to muck this one up. I don't know.
I think
a little bit about that.
I think the Tigers are absolutely just going to lay down and roll over in this one. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, and I think the Sharkies are far too classy for these guys. Just give me another Stone Street, pretty much.
Yeah, I've got Sam Stone Street in there to score. There's one thing that I don't particularly like about this one is at Leichhardt Oval, which does scare me a little bit because I swear there's a bit of woo that goes on there, and they just manage to play a bit of footy when they play there.
I don't know how much you've seen of it, like on Channel 9 days. I reckon Tigers religiously would play Sunday afternoon at Leichhardt Oval. And Gus used to call it the Bermuda Triangle all the time because the weirdest shit would only ever happen at Leichhardt.
Yeah, and a certain number 6 has come back into that team. His exile has been ended after one week.
Kelvin.
Lockie's coming back in. I think this is going to be, if anything, like if last week you got the team allegedly going, nah, we don't want to play with the bro, and he's coming back in. Like, how is that going to work? The chemistry is surely just going to be all over the place.
The chemistry is going to be shot to pieces.
Like, what happens if Galvin goes over for a meat pie and no one comes over to celebrate with him, or something like that happens? Like, something's just fucked.
He'll get booed. He'll get booed for sure. He'll go for a meeting and they'll boo him.
Yeah, they better have a lot of security around there. There's going to be tinnies flying left, right, which I do not condone, but fuck, wouldn't surprise me at all either. You got
never have a brick when you want to throw one.
You've got an old mate there that was yelling out to Thurston, "Hey, Lockie,
hey, Galvin, where's your West Tiger spirit now, you dumb prick?"
So yeah, that could very well be happening. But yeah, that's what we've got for this week in the tipping. Then we jump through to our bet to Vegas. So I think, like I said, I'm through to around week or 3 or 4, whatever it might be. Again, if it's your first time hearing it, we're trying to turn $5, bet that many times over, make it all the way to Las Vegas, bro, for 2026. My one, which was the easiest money I think I've ever made in my life last week with both of the wingers for the Storm, Sometimes you just don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I'm just hitting the old Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste. They're down at Amy Park. Down there, the wingers just score. So I have got Xavier Coates and Kane Bradley. It gets you $3.14, which is not bad at all. Coming up.
Juicy odds.
It's pretty good, actually. So I just need to keep an eye on it to make sure Bellyache doesn't last minute pull out Bradley and bring in Sua Farlongo, which will probably pay him more.
He has been absolutely chopping and changing the wingers and the centres this year. Like, you wouldn't read about it, honestly.
Maybe Bellyache is starting to fall off.
Yeah. He's starting to lose the plot. Yeah, I think Melbourne are obviously going to get that game done quite easily. I'm going to be jumping on. I don't have a multi yet. I have a try scoring magnet, Xavier Coates, score anytime, Pappenhausen anytime, and I'm going to go Melbourne just on the head-to-head as well. Little three-legger there for you, Chris. We'll give you $3.40 odds. I think that's money for Jam.
Well, hopefully they can get you heading towards Vegas, because at the moment you've just been absolutely at sea.
At the moment, I'm going to be standing outside the Caxton watching in.
And then multi of the week, I'm really hot on the back rowers at the moment. After missing out by just one, I want to try again this week, but a little sprinkle of a fullback in there for something else. I've got Huddy Young, so he's at home. Easiest thing, Milkman goes over. The Milkman goes over. Perhaps any time down there at Amy Park. And again, I know that he is coming off the bench, but I'm hot on him. I think he's going to get it done. Leka Halamasia is paying a good amount of money. You chuck three of those together, you get $26.02 on a Mysterious Blue betting agency. Yeah, I'd like that one to hit. I need some funds for Magic Round, that's for sure.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I need some fucking money for Magic Round as well. I'm
not going to tip the round again, are you?
No, I've fucking given up on that shit. I've lost a leg, whereas my other leg just gone. There you are. Right, I've got a three-legger. I feel like I need to go back to basics a little bit. I feel like this is probably risque, but yet somewhat safe in my department that I can do. I'm going to have Xavier Coates anytime. These are just centre and winger multi. Xavier Coates anytime. We've got Sebastian Chris anytime, who seems to be finding the line quite a lot this year, and also Paul Alamotti as well, who seems to be finding the line a lot. Fuck me, I can't speak. A lot. That gives you $6.61. Boosted, though, gives you $7.03. So juicy odds there.
That's actually pretty good for the three of those. I thought you were about to spit out an 8-legger. You got try scorers in every which game or something like that. It's pretty safe, but pretty risky at the same time.
Bro, trust me, bro.
It's a lock, bro. But no, I reckon, though, that would just about do us. I do not have If This Player Was a Beer this week because my brain is not functioning and I couldn't think of anybody. So, but no, that's pretty much us. Again, make sure you follow all that sort of jazz. We've got Magic Round next week, so if you are going there, obviously we'll have another podcast before then, but come say hello, or don't. Do whatever you want.
We'll have a potty live at the Caxton as well, so yeah, jump in on that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wish. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Laters.